Good morning, welcome back. Today's our last day of learning something new on coding. I'm gonna have something tomorrow, a little dance party thing that I've created that comes at the end of this course. You can make your own dance party if you want. It's been challenging. I've been trying to show you guys this code with remote learning over a short period of time, and it's challenging. You can go at your own pace, but if you get stuck and I'm not there to help you with it, or you don't have a parent there that can help you with it, you just kind of get stuck. And so I can understand how that can be very frustrating. But if you stuck with it, congratulations. That's amazing. I wish I was in person teaching this to you guys because I really do enjoy it. And I love what's one of my favorite things, especially about learning code, is just how excited you guys get about learning something new and having a breakthrough in something that you're learning. Today we're going to be looking at a challenge of harvesting. And so we had the challenge before where if you moved to a space and you didn't know what was there and had to harvest it, telling the computer how to do that. This time we're not going to know what's there, but we're also not going to know how many of that item are going to be there. And so it creates an extra level to this challenge of harvesting crops. Before it was the bee was either collecting pollen or making honey. Now we're trying to harvest crops. And so hopefully the lessons before are going to help warm you up and get you ready for this lesson. I'm going to show you one of the challenges in this particular lesson. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been a while since I've done some coding. I got stuck for a while and I couldn't figure out what to do. And I had to think about different things and I had to try different strategies in order to figure out what worked. And it took me a little while. So if the same thing happens to you, that's just part of the deal. Now, this is the 5th challenge on lesson 14. And we only have 5 blocks to work with. When we run this program, what do we need her to do? Well, it looks like there's a bunch of these sprouts, but we don't know what crop we're harvesting underneath these plants. It says lettuce. If we read this, the harvester wants to pick everything from her lettuce garden. Each plant will now have more than one head of lettuce on it, so the harvester will need to pick while there is still lettuce growing. Remember, this garden only has lettuce. So in this particular challenge, we don't have to worry about any other crops. We don't have to set up some condition for, like if you look at this block, if there's no corn or pumpkins. We're just worrying about lettuce. Same thing for if we use this block. This is, of course, that if logic block, a conditional. And so it'll do something if there is lettuce. And we know that if there is lettuce, we want her to harvest it. We want her to pick the lettuce. So that seems like a pretty good code to have. I'm going to walk you through my thought process and where I got stuck. So I looked at this and I said, okay, we want to create a way where she's going to keep moving forward. And so that's another block that we're going to need. She needs to move forward. She's not going to be turning at all. If there is lettuce, we want her to pick the lettuce. And then I want her to keep moving forward as long as she can. So initially I said, while there is a path ahead, I want you to move forward. And if there is lettuce, then I want you to pick the lettuce. Let's see what happens when we run this code. So she moved forward, but she only picked the lettuce once. So then what we need to do is something called a nestled I think it's called a nestled loop. I might be wrong about that. We're going to put a loop inside of the loop. So then instead, when she's moving forward, we want her to pick the lettuce. While there is lettuce, this orange block is a loop. And so the way that the computer is going to read that, hopefully, is that when there's a path ahead, she's going to first move forward, and then if there's lettuce, she's going to pick the lettuce and hopefully keep doing that as long as there is still lettuce. Let's see if that works. Going good so far. Okay, that worked well. Now there's another way that you can do this, because there's more than one way that we can code things. I just accidentally went to the next lesson, which presents another problem. She has to pick the pumpkin, which I already kind of solved that one, but anyway. What if instead I knew the number of times that she needed to go forward to repeat this process? Well, I can use this block too. So that'll change this a little bit. Let's put this inside this, so we still have that same loop. And how many times does we need her to go forward and check to pick the lettuce? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So we want her to repeat this 6 times. Looking good so far. Okay, there we go. Now, I want to tell you guys, one of the problems that I think I had the first time was I had some of the codes flipped. And so I wanted her to try to harvest anything on the space she was on and then move forward. And the problem was when she got to the end of the path, if there were any lettuce heads there, she wouldn't harvest them because she had already checked the space she was in, then moved forward, and then there was no longer a path. And so sometimes it's really hard to think about what the computer wants to do. Now, further in this lesson, there are some tough challenges. They really will test your thinking and understanding, especially about how loops work. Because as long as there's something to harvest, you want them to harvest it, and you want to keep the harvester moving with as little codes as possible. If my harvester needs to move 20 spaces, is there a way that I can do that without having to write in move forward 20 times? Can I use a loop to say move forward, do that 20 times? If there's a condition, like maybe my harvester needs to turn, I can help my program think a little bit so that when it gets to a dead end, it says, oh, I'm at a dead end. What do I do now? So as long as there's a path ahead, I'm going to move ahead and keep harvesting. And as soon as that path is done, now what do? It'll jump down to the next thing of code to see what it needs to do. And it'll say, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do this. Oh, but I can do this. And it'll do that next thing before it cycles back up to the top. In this case, it might be a turning action or something else. Okay. Now, I wish you luck. I'm really sad, actually. Like I said, I really want to be there in person doing this with you guys. And this is the last day of new instruction. Not really new instruction, but we're going to be really focusing on this code. Tomorrow, I'm just going to show you the project that I made, and I'm going to link the lesson if you want to make something very similar, but with your own spin on it. So I miss you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for what is our last day. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you stay safe. Bye.